I'm Kelsey Wishik. I'm now an Athens native. Well, I'm an Athens local. Moved here in 2018 to be a part of the UGA grad program in the arts. These are some recent paintings that I did actually after doing a demo at UGA. Some of the old facilities, we took up the floor, and I'm very passionate about repurposing things, repurposing materials. So I started these large paintings on these old floorboards, and I just wanted them to be very vibrant and colorful. They're also in response from a trip I took to South America last summer, and I came back and I was just thinking about how to depict like this vibrant, uplifted, global kind of community. And so there's a combination of animals and people and just kind of this spiritual, vibrant energy.
Great. Can you talk a little bit about what it was kind of like? You said you had these in a show during when the pandemic kind of started, and just what it's been like and your decision to put them out here.
Yeah. These works were in a solo show I had at the Lamar Dodd School of Art called The Elements of Myth, and that show was cut in half because of the pandemic, but I was able to get these out of the gallery before everything kind of shut down, and immediately I brought them home. I put them in the yard, and within a matter of days of the pandemic starting, people were out walking a lot more than usual. And I already have a few large paintings on my porch, so people were just kind of stopping from a safe distance and talking and commenting that they really enjoyed the positive energy and the color along the walk. So I got to thinking, well, this is Jittery Joe's here we are at the Bean Brewer. It's such a positive hub. Even if we can't all congregate here, people would be walking by. And they're my neighbors, so I came out, and sure enough, they were standing outside the moment I came, and I said, I'd love to share this just as a positive bit of color as people are walking about the city. And sure enough, they agreed. I brought these over, and they've been here ever since for a couple of weeks, and it's been a really nice opportunity to share some positive energy with the local community.
Great. Can you talk a little bit about what it's been? The thing going around on social media is just like this is the time to kind of like write your novel or do something like that, but also we're going through something we've never gone through, like quarantine and isolation. Can you talk a little bit about what that's been like as an artist?
Yeah.
And do you have maybe a message for other creatives that kind of find themselves isolated?
Yeah. I definitely think this is a potent time to be a creative and a human being in general. And I always kind of feel that even before the creative process happens, the vision process happens. The way that we see life, the way that we feel what's happening is kind of the predecessor to anything that I personally create as an artist. So I have been using this time to touch into that vision, creative aspect of the art process, just how I see life, how I feel empathetically as a part of a global community going through this massively unprecedented event. So it's a real heart awakening, and as an artist, I find that a very valuable experience. So just like being empathetically awakened by what's happening and kind of channeling that through my various art forms. I'm a multimedia artist, so I'm doing anything from video to painting and sculpture. So I'm just letting it kind of happen naturally and not putting too many timelines on it, letting this be a transformative time in life. And I do encourage that to other creatives as well. Like maybe it is a very unique opportunity to drop out of that goal-oriented, ambition-oriented, timeline-oriented creative style and into a very intuitive and responsive participation in this kind of global awakening of empathy and artistry, what we can make from what we have. That's how I feel about it.
Great. Can you kind of go a little deeper into that? What do you think? People talk about the Endowment for the Arts and just kind of like that's maybe not that's not the best use of money in some things. Do you think people are going to value arts more out of this because you're isolated and it's just I mean, we have kind of access to nature in Athens more so, but like in bigger cities, you're kind of locked in your apartment and stuff. What do you think's going to come out of this?
Yeah, I hope that people value art more, not only because of this time, but because it's a way of seeing what our community members are creating from the resources we have and share, and from the times and perspectives that we're all in. But I also hope that the arts take a turn for the kind of more of a shared experience. I think it's important, like individual paintings and art objects are beautiful and important, but also bringing that creative energy back into the community when we're able to be together again, I think will be a really unique opportunity to see how social service, environmental activism, and all of these beautiful things can come into a shared art practice communally. So I don't know where the funds will go and come from, but I do believe that as a community, we'll decide what our values are and reorient to that. And hopefully creativity and artfulness is a part of that value system that emerges.
You touched on kind of like a growing empathy coming out of this. What do you think will be broad changes that maybe come out of this crisis?
My hope is that the change is fundamental in the perspectives that we share. Hopefully this time away from the hustle bustle we can preserve that kind of quieting and shared awareness of this human experience that we're all having, and slow down a little bit, work hard. I know we all want to return to work, but also live deeply. So live in deep connection with the kind of empathy that we share, in the just fact that we are all having this human experience, this very vulnerable human experience. And not only that, but I think this has offered us a more global perspective too, not just from the human standpoint, but from the earth standpoint, and the positive environmental changes that are happening from the slowing down of human activity. So maybe art can reflect that as well. And our creative alliances and projects that come from this time hopefully are inspired by the real need that we have on planet Earth to just live more sustainably with a global consciousness. What's happening with the plants, the animals, the people. I think this is a really beautiful time to tune back into what's really happening and tune out of that kind of compulsive hustle. Yeah.
Yeah, what's it kind of been like for you, just having this extra time? I mean, we already touched about maybe artistic, but
Yeah.
can you speak a little more to that?
It's funny that you mentioned like now maybe the time to write the novel. So I've been doing that. I've been writing a book for a couple years, and it just kind of went to the side, and I've used this time to just really reflect on who I am as a person and what kind of gifts that I would like to give to the world using this perspective. So I've been just really valuing this time to work on those types of projects, but also look inward. I have a meditation and yoga practice. I've been trying to bring in all of the tools to thwart anxiety and apathy, which can naturally happen to anyone who's just kind of staying put for a long time. And also making music and making efforts to stay connected with family and friends and share that uplifted energy, because I think we can all get bogged down in the silence and the time, but there's so much that we can do that's free technology to uplift our experience. And I think that includes art, it includes music, reading books, meditating, yoga, family, friends, anything that we can do. Now is the time to kind of pull that out and put it into practice. So I certainly have been, and resting and cooking and all of that good and easy stuff too.
Definitely. People seem to have this kind of just like emptiness and openness to time. Have you kind of put yourself into like a schedule of like doing yoga, and like is there a certain time of day does that help having a structure?
Oh gosh, it helps to start with a structure, especially adapting to new times in life. So at first I started with a kind of like, I need to be specific and rigid, and I also had commitments that kind of fell over from the very beginning of quarantine, where we adapted our schedule on Zoom and like everybody else has. I definitely think of it more as a just kind of hit these things every day. Make sure that you move and breathe mindfully every day, create something every day. And also that openness of time to me is important not to avoid, and not to kind of make my schedule like an escape from that. I think that's one of the things that makes this time so valuable, is that we can use that space and that silence to really kind of unearth who we are again and what we can create that's unique to this moment in time. So I use that time, that open time as well. I would schedule it in.
Where can people find your art and kind of connect with you
Yeah.
online?
Yeah, people can find my art at www.worksbywish.com. Or my Instagram is kelsey.wishik. And that's an opportunity to kind of connect with me if you want to reach out on anything from drawings, paintings, sculptures, but really that's also a platform for me to kind of talk about my integration with nature and creativity in general. So from there, I'm sure we can link up in other ways, but be happy to share a conversation or a bit of inspiration.
Great.